Good morning, Jason. How are you?
Good morning, Dan. Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm curious, first game as a broadcaster, first game as a player. More nervous with which one?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think it's hard for me to remember back that many years ago, but, anytime you're a rookie playing for Bill Parcells as he makes his debut, the nerves were amped up. You had that feeling in the stomach. So I would probably say as a rookie player coming to Dallas as a tight end, and as Bill referred to me a lot, I was lost. I was a ball in high grass in a lot of ways. But, it's funny when you go into broadcasting, and great opportunity to call my first game. But it's similar. I mean, I just really reminded myself to smell the roses, to the great history of Monday Night Football and be able to carry on that vision. And, look, that chair's awfully big, and the job that those guys have done before me. So I was standing most of the game. That's a big seat to fill, but I had a lot of fun. And honestly, Dan, it's much like when you play. You just continue to work at it, find ways to improve, have a lot of fun. Certainly a lot of areas to clean up, but I'm really enjoying an opportunity to stay around the game and share some of my insight and my knowledge over 15 years of playing it. And so having a lot of fun, good team around me.
How much did Tony Romo's success play into you taking this job?
Well, I think more than anything else, I caught myself watching him last year. That was probably the first time I really paid attention to a broadcast crew on that level, and what all goes into it, and the success that he had. And it's interesting when you dive into it, and certainly I studied a lot of guys in a lot of different sports. It's really hard to define what it is, what are those traits, but you know it when you hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Much like yourself, it's like it's a good listen, and you appreciate when you see it, and there's tips and pointers that you can learn from different guys on how you explain it, and not to go too much football and on a level that everybody can comprehend and appreciates, and makes it enjoyable and entertaining and fun. And so, but you got to stay true to yourself, and that's what I've tried to do. And Tony set the bar really high with his success and what he and Jim were able to achieve together last year.
Finish the sentence. If I wasn't offered Monday Night Football.
Oh, that's hard. That's hard. I was offered it, so I was able to say that I took Monday Night Football. I don't know. It was a really hard decision. I would have to say that, I was fortunate enough to still have the opportunity with Jerry to be able to play. But like anything, I said it when I retired, rather 3 hours too early than a minute too late. And this opportunity to stay around the game on this stage and to carry on the tradition of Monday Night Football, man, are you kidding me? I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. And so that's what I'm excited about. And look, I understand it. It gets hot in the kitchen. I mean, the expectations, certainly they were high as a player for the Dallas Cowboys, but it's broadcasting. I mean, everybody has pointers and what you can do better, and it's your first game. And so I think more than anything else, I hope to develop in a lot of ways of a voice of reason and showcasing what I see and how quickly I can share that. And it's enjoyable. People sitting around their house on the couch on Monday night after spending the last 3 or 4 days watching ball, they want to enjoy that. And so I thought we got off to a good start and plenty to improve. Could you play today? I don't know that anybody would say that they can't play. Any competitor would say, it's funny when I retired, I was going through that process. I visited with Coach Parcells, who was a great mentor of mine my first 4 years as my coach here in Dallas. And he said, Jason, you're going to feel like you're 45 years old. You can still go run up there and win on that Y option. And heck, man, you probably can. You'll probably be able to do it. And so, yeah, I think you always feel that way. But Father Time waits on nobody, and you see it with players. It's a tough league. And so, yeah, if it was a 3rd and 6, do I feel like I could go out there and help a team? Yeah, I mean, I think we would all say that. But there's a lot more that goes into it than just that. I want you to be an analyst now and look at the Dallas Cowboys. What do you see? Well, that wasn't the way they wanted to start the season off last year. Last week when we watched that game. I think to provide a little perspective, you can't get ahead of yourself. It's one game. But they did not play well. I thought the defense showed some really good signs of what they can develop into with the pressure they're getting on the quarterback, the young corners and defensive backs being able to really play well and embrace that stage of what's expected on that defense and coming into its own. Offensively, I think most quarterbacks in the league, you need those pieces around you. And so they'll find ways to get Zeke Elliott going. I mean, you're going to see a lot of those 8-man boxes. I think the concern or what you weren't able to see and probably affected them was being able to stretch the field and move the ball. And
yeah.
I think Dak has all those intangibles, and we'll find it and evaluate it. Not having Travis Frederick in there, I think it really affects them. Not only is he an all-pro center, but the communication and how he handles all that. And so, that wasn't the way they wanted to start. Tough loss. They got to get that offense going. But I think Linehan and Garrett and Dak, they have the pieces in place that they just need to find ways to get those explosives and those big chunks. And everybody wants to do that, right, Dan? I mean, that's, every offense is saying they need to do that. But they're doing it a little bit in unconditional ways, because you want to run the football so much. Well, then, you got to have some of those play actions and some of those pieces that come in behind it. And they weren't able to consistently get those big strikes. When you think back to 2016, that was a big difference. They were able to in 2016, you're able to find a lot of those plays. Much like Russell Wilson, when they had their big success, it all works together. The defense getting turnover stops. You saw Dallas defense taking big strides. Now that getting back to offensively, they want to run that football, but you saw it in that game, and there was a lot of those dirty looks where it's so many guys that are down in the box giving that attention to Elliott.
Yeah, and I think that's what's going to happen. But, I look at Dak Prescott, and I just don't think he has that bailout receiver where you and Dez could provide that, and he doesn't have that. He's got smaller guys there. They're still working on a tight end, and if I'm a defense, I just look at what Carolina did. Not that you can beat Carolina's defense, but I just take that blueprint. I'm going to say 8 guys in the box. I'm going to dare you to beat us. We'll have man coverage. Let me see what you can do, Dak.
Yeah, I think that's what you're going to see. You're going to continue to see it, and they're aware of that. And I think you're going to see more of the run-pass options, finding those ways in early downs. I'm studying the Chicago game. That's who we call next week, and you see Matt Nagy do a lot of that for the quarterback, and it's just high percentage throwing catch that they stay ahead of the chains. And I think going back to that formula of winning on first down and second down. Well, it's not as easy just handing it off all the time. I mean, sometimes you got to use that in the passing game. So that's fair to say. I think they're well aware that they're going to have those type of looks, those dirty 8-man fronts, and finding ways to get those chunks on the outside. Beasley showed that he can do a lot of different things. But yeah, I mean, you're going to have those explosive plays, and I'm sure they're studying that right now to say, hey, that's where our attention we need to be better at.
Good luck with Miller Lite. More importantly, Monday Night Football, and you can see and hear Jason Witten. It'll be the Seahawks-Bears at 8:15 Eastern coming up on Monday night. Jason, good to catch up with you again. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Thanks for having me on, Dan.
That's Jason Witten, former Cowboys tight end. If you don't get the Monday night job, now maybe you would have gotten another analyst role at another network, but that Monday night job, and if he would have asked me, I would have told him, take the job. If they offer you Monday night, take it. Because if you're good enough, you can hold on to that for 10 years. But that's one of those unique situations. And that would be one that I would walk away from football a year early than a year late with something like that.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.